Hello everybody, Arie here, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you how you can go from 0 to 6 figures per month with e-commerce. So this clip is taken from a NetSphere podcast that I did with Jad Kantari, who is an 8-figure e-commerce entrepreneur and whose journey is really inspiring. So I actually asked him that question. I said, hey, how did you go from 0 to 6 figures a month in only 6 months? Because that's what he did. And this is basically the snippet of him answering that question. If you want to watch the full interview, simply go to my channel. You see right here, pretty clean, and then you go down to NetSphere podcast, and it's the most recent interview that we did. Now, we did conduct this interview live before posting it on YouTube for all NetSphere members. So if you're not a NetSphere member but you're interested in joining, simply go to my website here, and then you go to learn more, and here you'll basically learn exactly what it's all about and enroll if you want to. So let's not waste any time here. If you do enjoy this content though, make sure you subscribe for more, and let's get right into it. I loved hearing that story the first time, and the second time it's like even better, just because it's just baffling to me, and not just baffling, but inspiring to see someone that's like, okay, not only you figured it out quick, you're like invested back into your knowledge, like you literally just kept moving up and up and up, and then it all like crumbled again, and then you got right back on it and like did it even better. So I just love those types of stories where you just bounce back like that. Now, I also think it's interesting how quickly you said, you started in like March. By October, you were already doing like 6 figures a month. What made you go, from 0 to 6 figures a month, like in the span of like 6 months?
I think it was my hunger and consistency and just persistence, just not giving up. I mean, I went into 20K in credit card debt. Like, it was just like, there was no plan B, like there was no saving me. Like, my parents don't have money. Like, there was nobody that was going to be like, oh, here's, money to pay off the debt. Like, it's just like, I either make this work or I'm royally screwed. So it was really not, my back was against the wall, and I just stayed at it and just kept following people that I believed were good in the space, and learning and just trying and trial and error, man, and just not giving up. Like no was not an answer. It's just not. As corny as that sounds, like, it's just what it was. Like, I had no other choice, and I kept learning and I kept tweaking and going back to the drawing board, and eventually I started working,
Right. You eventually made it work. And then now, you got brands that have been around for like over a year, they're still generating revenue. That's amazing, man. And I think that's what I think most people should start thinking about nowadays is like, okay, how can you build something that has longevity, that you can continue building for a long time, that can continue to make you money for a while? What would you say is like a shift that you had, that made you go from, okay, just like selling these products to now building something that, you actually told me like in a different time that you got into Home Depot, like you're trying to get into Walmart, like you're making moves. What was that shift like?
Honestly, I've always had that vision of like kind of having a brand or multiple brands that were my baby, that I would just continuously day in and day out grow and really be proud of. Originally, when you're starting, and I see this all the time with new guys starting, is they want to participate and partake in these, cash grabs and like quick cash like schemes, not necessarily schemes, just kind of like mentality of drop shipping. And that's very easy to like fall into when you're starting off, but eventually you'll start realizing that the issues that come up from that, and the time that passes by so quickly while you're just chasing that bag, is not the way to go, especially when you start with other people who are building slowly, and you check back with them a year or two and they're light years ahead of you. It's just like their growth is so compounding and exponential, versus yours is sort of linear, but you have a lot of fallbacks given the nature of that, whole industry, right? Or strategy, if you may. So that's really, I had to learn that the hard way, because I was one of those people that wanted that quick cash, and it was interesting. And then after a while, you realize that, as easy as the money came, it's going to go, and you don't really have anything to stand behind. You haven't really built anything. So it's really important to look into building something long term, and then eventually either selling it or just, staying behind it, because like I said, the growth is exponential. Like
Right.
it really, it's like it snowballs, you know. So that's the mentality that I have now, and we start slow and steady, and the growth just comes, you know.
I love that. Yeah, man. I think that's such a good lesson. And I, wish I would have learned that sooner too, because I've seen people, if they just focused in, honed in on this one thing, like built it up slowly, kept improving the processes, and like you literally, I mean, that's how like every great company is built, like YouTube, even like these massive companies. So you're 100% right on that. So that's about it. If you enjoyed this little snippet, then make sure you check out the full interview. It'll be linked in the description. And as always, if you did like this video, I want you to give it a like and check out some of the resources in the description. But that's about it. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.